Are you a virgin? Do you struggle to have sex? Are you sexually active? Hey everyone, what's up? It's your boy Aaron Shu. Some of you might remember that several weeks ago I asked you to submit any question that you wanted to ask me anonymously, and I would get to respond to all of them, or at least the majority of them. And you guys didn't disappoint when it came to sending in the questions. They came in thick and fast. A lot of questions. Thank you for your cooperation. I greatly appreciate it. Now, I must say right off the bat that I did notice we had a lot of sexually related questions. And just to show you this, like for example, questions like, are you a virgin? Do you struggle to have sex? Are you sexually active? Does your condition affect your sexual ability? I feel like people don't really talk about sexuality and disability. I mean, you get the idea. There were a lot of questions surrounding that issue, which was quite surprising, but not really. I do know that people are rather curious about it, but I didn't think they were that curious. So let's talk about it. I am going to start off by saying that I am yet to meet somebody whose disability actually prevents them from having sex. And I know a lot of disabled people with a lot of different disabilities. And I'm yet to meet one whose condition actually makes it impossible for them to engage in sexual activities. So I do find it quite surprising that people assume that simply because someone is a physical disability, then it means they can't have sex. Guys, there are a lot of people with disabilities out there who are sexually active. Some of them even have kids, they have families. Yes, sometimes a person's disability will affect their sexual function, but it doesn't mean that they can't completely engage in sexual activities. You may need a little help medically or with some devices. The sex may look a little bit different, but trust me, people with disabilities can have sex, at least a vast majority of them, and trust me on that one. Maybe in the future I can bring in a friend of mine who has a disability and is passionate about those issues, and he loves talking about intimacy with regards to disability. I think I can talk to him nicely and ask him to come onto the channel and maybe share more information with regards to this particular topic. Okay, let's move on. I hope this is not inappropriate, but I am wondering, how are you disabled? Why are you in a wheelchair? Please, I don't mean to offend you, but I'm curious. God bless. How am I disabled? I am disabled in the sense that I sustained a spinal cord injury during birth, which resulted in a permanent disability, which meant I am unable to walk or to stand up on my own, or to basically my spinal cord cannot support my body as it should, and that is why I have a disability. So the most affected thing is that I'm unable to walk, and that is why I use a wheelchair. That is why I get by with the aid of a wheelchair, and that is my disability, so to speak. I hope I have answered you, and no, your question was not offensive at all. Hi Aaron, you amaze me. Thank you very much. Do you live alone or with a family? Tell us about you, your hobbies, the books you read, the music you listen to, pets, or anything about you. Well, yes, I do live with my family. Primarily because my condition makes it practically impossible for me to live independently. I need help with day-to-day living activities and tasks, so I can't really live alone. And because of that, I live with my family, who are incredible, loving, supportive, just simply the best. Pets, I don't have a pet, but I wish to have a dog someday. I think puppies are extremely cute and adorable, and I can't wait to have one so that we can be best friends. When it comes to music, my music tastes are quite wide and varied. I listen to a lot of different genres and types of music, so it's a mixed bag, but primarily I'm more into gospel and inspirational music. But that doesn't mean that I don't listen to non-gospel music, because I do. I love music, especially pop. I would say I gravitate more towards pop, but I am not discriminatory in any way. I mean, as long as the music is good, then it's my jam. Books, yeah, I used to be a bit of a bookworm, especially when I was younger, but as I've been growing older, I'm just finding myself not having time to read books. But yes, I do love a good book every now and again. If you have any recommendations, please share them with me. I would love that. This one is a bit of a funny question. It says, why do you look so good? Well, if somebody thinks I look good, thank you so much. I'm not used to those kind of compliments. I guess thank you. What is something you think counselors, rehabilitation professionals, and healthcare providers should know? What do those working in these professions fail to understand? And what would you like to see more of from those in those fields? Wow, that's an incredible question, honestly. When it comes to those who are counselors or rehabilitation officers or healthcare providers who work with people with disabilities, I would say there is a tendency, unfortunately, to sort of have this one size fits all kind of approach when it comes to dealing with people with disabilities, which is really strange in my opinion, because the thing about disability is we may have the same condition, we may have the exact same type of disability, but the way that it affects us and our function is quite different from individual to individual, and a lot of professionals tend to not pay attention to that. They approach things from a position of, I am the professional here, I know better than you do, I've dealt with 1,000 people with a similar condition, so I know what I'm doing, and I'm not really going to listen to your individual needs, because sometimes you guys just ask for too much, and yet our concerns and worries will actually be genuine. So if these professionals would treat disability more from an individual perspective and actually listen to the person concerned, then I think that would be quite ideal for all parties concerned. So if I would have these professionals know one thing, it would be that disabilities can be very individualistic. You really have to listen to the patient, to your patient, rather than make assumptions based on your experience as a professional. Yes, it's necessary sometimes, but it's also even more important to pay attention to the needs of the individual that you are serving or working with. That was a great question. What things do you wish people without disabilities knew about you? I wish people without disabilities understood more that people with disabilities are much more than just their disability. We are defined by way more than just our disabilities, and simply because there are certain things that my body can or can't do, it doesn't mean that is the be all and end all when it comes to who a person is. There is more to the person. See beyond the disability. And I would say that is one thing that I would wish more of my non-disabled or able-bodied counterparts would understand. What is the most aggravating question you get asked as someone with a disability? Also, what is the most untrue stereotype or assumption made about you or people with disabilities in your experience? Another great question. Thank you for that one. In my case, I would say it's not really about something that people ask me all the time. Rather, it's actually about what people don't do or don't ask me. Like, for example, I noticed that whenever I go out with my caregiver, with my friends, family, loved ones, whoever, people will skip over talking to me directly and ask questions to my friends or my caregiver or my family instead of just asking me. They'll just look at me and see my disability and assume that I somehow I can't engage in meaningful conversation or make decisions for myself. Like, for example, I could go out to eat, and the servers, the waiting staff, will come over to our table and would get everybody's orders. And then when it comes to me, they don't ask me that directly. They tend to somebody else, maybe sitting beside me, and say, "What would your friend like to eat? What would you want to order?" Which is always quite weird because I'm always like, "Hi, you could ask me, and I could make my own order. Thank you very much." Of course, I try not to be sassy when I'm saying that. I'm pretty much nice about it. I mean, to the best of my ability, at least. But it's just weird when I go through that a lot. I hope it's not too much to ask. Could you do an interview with your parents, asking them questions on how it was raising you, etc.? I would say that's a good idea. Actually, the funny thing is, sometime in the past, I considered having that kind of of making that kind of video, because I realized that my mother, my dad is late now, so if I do that, it would have to be with my mother. My mother went through a lot raising me as a child with a disability, mostly because we're living in an environment that was not really built with the disabled people, disabled kids in mind. So we went through a lot of challenges, a lot of obstacles that she had to overcome just to ensure that my life was as regular or as normal in quotes as possible. So it would be great to have you on the channel and have you talk about that. But you guys know that the internet can be quite a strange place. My family didn't ask to put themselves out here, so I will have to ask her nicely, and if she says yes, then we can make it happen. I think she will have a lot of invaluable information to share, actually, and I think a lot of people might learn a lot from that. So thank you for the idea, thank you for the suggestion. I am definitely taking it into consideration. What is the best piece of advice you ever received? Wow, interesting question. I think I've received a lot of advice in my life, and trying to zero in on any particular one is quite a task. But something that is immediately coming to my mind, I guess, is the advice that I got from my mom. She basically just told me that the only person that you can really rely on, the only person who can really take care of you, the only person that you can depend on 100% is nobody else but God. She really hammered it in me that God is the ultimate person that I should look up to, and the one that I should count on, and the one that I should lean on and depend on. And for me, when you have a disability, leaning on God and depending on Him takes a whole different kind of meaning, because like, for example, I'm not someone who's independent. I do need the assistance of caregivers with my day-to-day activities. So being taken care of, it has a deeper meaning in such a situation and under such circumstances. So for me, my mom letting me know that I should really depend on God and lean on Him completely was the best advice that I ever got, because God will never let me down, and ultimately He is the only guaranteed person that I know that I have. So for me, that would probably be the best advice I ever received, because it taught me not to depend on other people so much, because imagine what would happen if they disappointed you or let you down. But I always remind myself that at the end of the day, I've got God on my side, and that makes a huge difference. I didn't think it was possible, but I've managed to go through all of the questions that you guys submitted. If I didn't answer your specific question, it was probably because it was quite similar to another one that I had already responded to. But if you feel like you asked something that was different and I didn't get to respond to it, please let me know in the comment section and I'll make sure that I respond to your question in a future video. I hope you did enjoy the Q&A, guys. To everyone who submitted their question, thank you so much. I appreciate you. You are the real deal. This video wouldn't have been possible without you. Wow, I enjoyed doing that. I guess we should do that more in the near future. But for now, thank you for watching, and as usual, remember, your life is a gift. Make the most out of it. Don't forget to hit the like button, to subscribe, to share the video with your peers, and of course to leave a comment below. Let's talk about the video. What did you think about it? Did my answers surprise you? And what question did you enjoy my response to the most? I will see you soon in a new video. Thank you for watching. Cheers for now.